Good morning, CSL Simi Valley. Welcome to a Sunday version of Virch, our church meeting the virtual world. Good to have you here on this end. Was it the end? As we wind down on the election season, we've got a new president. Wow. We'll talk more about that, but before we get into that, a lot of us in the center, a lot of you that are new to the center, may not know this really sweet woman who was a powerhouse around the building for quite a number of years. I'm talking about Dee Helsel. She made her transition this week. And for those of you that didn't know it, I just want to let you know about that. And we just love her. We love her family, Fred, and all the family members, and just want to support them and let our heart reach out to them. And if you feel a call to support the family in some particular way, there is that need. And you can call the church office, and our own Dee Malure will be there to tell you about Deanne Helsel and how you can help the family. So give a call after service and check that out if that's something that your heart reaches out to you. But right now, our heart is open to the family, and we just hold them in prayer in this moment of transition. And all of our friends who have known her and her great acting and her crazy sense of humor and her big heart, her willingness to just love everybody and to always have a kind word for anybody. Dee Helsel. You know, there was a saying in our ministerial training that our job was to comfort the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable. Well, after this past week, there's half the country that fit in one category and half the country that fit in another category. So we're called. This has been an amazing election period. Do you know that 67% of the country voted? We haven't had that kind of a voting turnout since 1900. And the number of people to vote, out of the 239 million people that could vote, somewhere around 160 million people voted. They're still counting. That's amazing. We've been talking about get out the vote, get out the vote, get out the vote. And apparently people were listening. And now it's time to deal with the fact that just a little over half, just under half of that number of people voted for a candidate that did not win. We are called now to open ourselves up, to comfort those that are feeling that sense of trouble and anguish in this moment, and to sit in a place of humility if you were on the side that got the return that you wanted, if you're on the side that did not, to be in a place of acceptance, and for all of us to work toward that space of unity that was talked about in the President-elect's speech last night. So we have some work to do. This is the time. We are the place. And it's an amazing thing that has happened in this country to see so many people exercise their right of choice. Something that we honor and we hold dear. So there's work to be done. Willingness, humility, patience, unity, respect, and curiosity. Open your heart out and be childlike and wonder and ask questions and stay away from so many statements and just see how we can work toward our move in a new direction for our country. I'm still thinking about Dee. I can see her face. I can see her smile. We have a new month, and the second week of that month is when we announce the Volunteer of the Month. And the October Volunteer of the Month was previously not a volunteer because she was an employee. But when COVID came around, our music director decided to no longer take a salary, and she has been doing that. Thought it would be for a short amount of time, but it turns out it's been all this time in 2020, and that made her, by the Board of Trustees' choice, the Volunteer of the Month. We have a weekly music meeting, and we usually do it over the phone, but I said, hey, I want to do it with Zoom. She said, why? I said, I just want to do it with Zoom. Well, here's what happened as a result
When
of that.
COVID began, you made a choice to support the center and still continue to do what you do. And the board noticed it. And so for the month of October, they chose you as the volunteer of the month.
Ta-da! Thank you. I'm a volunteer.
That's right. So what would you like to say to the community about being volunteer of the month?
I need a trophy or some sort. I'll use one of, here's my Los Angeles, LA Marathon medals. Oh my God, you guys are the best. Mwah, thank you. You know, I love you all, and it's a pleasure and a joy.
Good.
Oh, excuse me. It's my agent.
I understand. This is this is
Thanks.
I'm not even surprised. Well, thanks so much for all the service that you give to the center and continue to bring us the quality music, to bring the band together into the backyard
That
for
was so
the Soul
fun.
Purpose Band. People are loving that, and just blessings.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
She was quite surprised. It was really nice. Volunteer of the Month. If you have a candidate that you'd like to nominate to the board for Volunteer of the Month, please reach out to us. Let us know. Call the church office. Send me an email. Send Gregory Seymour, the board president, an email. Send Lane Taylor, the board vice president or treasurer, an email. Just send an email to us and nominate somebody, and we'll consider them for Volunteer of the Month. And as we come toward the end of the year, we're going to compile all of them together and come up with our Volunteer of the Year for our Spirit Awards, which we'll do next year. That reminds me, it's time for the B. Thompson nominations. And so we haven't put it officially out, but if you know of an organization that has been doing fantastic work here in 2020, and boy, are there opportunities for organizations to do fantastic work in 2020. What a year this has been. Please do nominate that organization for the B. Thompson Award. Same thing, email to the office. There'll be an application on the website. You can just download it and fill that out very shortly. If it hasn't happened already, it'll be there before the week is out. Just want to remind you about that because this B. Thompson Award is amazing. We have put money aside into a foundation, and every year there's a dividend, and that dividend has been anywhere between $4,000 to $5,000. This has been an incredible market in the country, and who knows what that dividend will be this year to go and support an organization. We gave it to one group one year, and they just broke into tears because they were in such need of the $5,000 they got from us. It allowed them to expand their programs and be a bigger service to the Ventura County area. So if you know of an organization, Ventura County, Santa Barbara County, LA County, nationwide even, doesn't matter, please nominate them. The Board of Trustees and the nominating committee will review those nominations and will make the announcement at next year's Spirit Awards. So these are just some of the things we do, recognizing those that we love that we have seen go through transition, talking about how we do the global and national thing, what we do locally to support our center, and what we do locally a little bit larger to support our community through the B. Thompson Award. These are evidences of our vision and our mission statement in action. Join me now as we say our vision and mission statement. We're a community, inclusive, loving, and authentic. We celebrate all paths to God in gratitude, empowering self and others. We serve compassionately through outreach, inspiration, and education. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And here's what we do.
Good morning. This is Judy
and Jillian
and Tyson,
welcoming all of you joining our virtual church worship celebration. We call it Virch. It's our pleasure to bring you this morning's announcements, sharing with you what we do. Our weekly featured event is the Wednesday night experience. This week at 7 p.m., Reverend Jennifer Nigham guides you in an experience called Love and Gratitude. Here's Reverend Jennifer with more on what to expect Wednesday night.
Hi everybody, I thought I'd come to our physical center in order to invite you all to our virtual Wednesday evening service this Wednesday, November 11th, 2020 at 7 p.m. There's still some advantages to Zoom. You'll be able to see the bottom of my face. Our topic this Wednesday will be a contemplation and discussion of an article written by our founder, Ernest Holmes, on the topic of love and gratitude and how we relate that to ourselves, to others, and to Spirit, to God, to the highest. Love to see anybody who has some time this Wednesday evening. And if you're interested in reading aloud at the service, maybe a couple paragraphs of the article, send me a DM on Facebook or a Gmail at revjennifernigam@gmail.com, or feel free to text me 425-283-8383. Can't wait to see you this Wednesday.
The meeting ID for Love and Gratitude is 889-3077-5520.
There's no passcode. Reverend Jennifer will let you in the waiting room. Saturday, November 14th, our men's group, the Giants, and women's group, the Sacred Sisters, meet. The Giants get together in a Zoom room at 9 a.m. The Giants will get current while applying our spiritual principles to all aspects of life's journey. Here's the Zoom room address or meeting ID: 852-8380-5667. And the passcode is 463827. The Sacred Sisters begin at 10:30. This month's topic of conversation will be Goddesses Never Age. The Zoom room meeting ID is 908-747-6278. Don't forget our other regular weekly offerings. Wednesdays at 5:30, join Debbie Jarvis for Yoga with Debbie, an hour of spiritual yoga for everyone. The meeting ID is 878-5693-8671, and the passcode is 253932. Play and Learn with Dr. Susan is available on our YouTube channel, CSL Simi Valley. She also streams live Sunday mornings at 9:30 on the center's website. And you can spend a few moments with Reverend Stephen weekdays at 1 for Practicing Oneness at 1, live at 1 o'clock from his personal Facebook page.
Spiritual mind treatment is a powerful prayer tool developed by Dr. Ernest Holmes and offered to you from our practitioners and ministers. Reach out to them with your request for spiritual support by visiting the center's website, look for practitioners, or call the office to leave your prayer request. Today's service will be uploaded to your YouTube channel, CSL Simi Valley. Please let friends who miss this live broadcast or don't do Facebook know they can check us out on YouTube or through the center's website homepage.
Welcome to all of you viewing from wherever you are. We're so grateful that you've chosen to spend this time with us this morning.
I came back a little early. We were actually supposed to go to John Newbill, so let me see if I can get him for you and go to, yes, John Newbill with Practitioner of the Day.
Good morning and welcome to Affirmation Reading and Treatment. I'll read the affirmation once and then I'll invite you to read it with me. This is the day the Lord has made, and I gladly rejoice in it. Okay, together. This is the day the Lord has made, and I gladly rejoice in it. My reading today is from the Science of Mind textbook, from page 432, The Teachings of Jesus. The Divine Bounty. As God cares for the birds who do not gather into barns, so shall we be cared for if we trust and do not doubt. But we are to seek the kingdom first. Jesus bade us to completely trust in God for everything and in every instance. He had a complete reliance upon God. Dare we say that such a confidence will be misplaced? Have we ever tried it? Until we have tried and failed, we are not in a position to contradict this theory. Those who have implicitly relied upon the theory are proving the principle to be definite and one upon which an absolute reliance may be placed. Have no fear of tomorrow. Enjoy today. Refuse to carry the corpse of mistaken yesterday. What untold misery is suffered through the burdens imposed by our yesterdays and bitter prospects of our tomorrows. The good of our present day is too often sandwiched between these two impossible situations. The day in which we live is sufficient. We are to live today as though God were in his heaven, and while all is well with our souls. Jesus made the greatest claim upon God of anyone who ever lived. He demanded a complete and unreserved trust in the goodness and living kindness of the Creator. And harking down the ages, those who have followed his teachings have been justified and their faith. Now I invite you to join me in an opening treatment. Knowing that God is in, through, and as everything, I do know my faith is justified. And because I am expressing that faith as my unique, individualized self, my mind is open and receptive to the wonders of this world, and more specifically to the wonders of this service. That each one in attendance has that same blessing of receptivity to their good. So I bless this virtual service today, knowing that all has unfolded in divine right order, that each one in attendance, whether near or far, is equally blessed with the gift of faith, that each one receives the blessings of the good of the present day, that each has a receptivity to recognize every experience as it unfolds as a blessing of good, no matter how it appears, that this day continues to unfold with blessings, and that all is good and very good. Grateful for my faith and the faith of each member of CSL CME, I release my word into the law, and so it is.
This song is an original song, and it's about all of the normal, usual things in our lives that pass us by every day that on the one hand seem, very ordinary. Flower growing in the yard, smile of a child, sun hitting the back of your neck, feeling that warmth. And these are all kind of mini miracles in their own ways. They're all what I would call extraordinary, and that's the name of this song. It's an ordinary morning, an ordinary day. It's an ordinary raindrop down my window pane. It's so wonderful, it's so magical, makes me want to cry. An ordinary human smiling at me on the streets. It's a feeling that grows stronger every person that I meet, and it's so wonderful, 'cause life's so beautiful, it's got me feeling high. 'Cause we are ordinary, such extraordinary, ordinary people. In the smell of fresh cut roses, in the look on every face, in the heart of every one of us, you will always find a trace of something beautiful, something magical, right before your eyes. 'Cause we are ordinary, such extraordinary, ordinary people. We all have our games to play day by day. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. We all are born free to live our lives our way. And what we have is what we choose. Sun rolling thunder echoes through these streets. The rain comes gushing down on us, and it soaks right to our feet. And it's so wonderful to be right here with you, just to be alive. Now ordinary rainbows spread across the evening sky, and ordinary teardrops that are rolling from our eyes. You're so beautiful, so truly magical. I know we're never gonna die, 'cause we are ordinary, such extraordinary, ordinary people. We all have our role to play day by give our lives away. And what you have is what you hold. It's an ordinary sunset, and it's glowing up above, and an ordinary moon that is rising just because it's all so beautiful, so truly magical. Feel like we can fly, 'cause life is ordinary, so extraordinary. This world is ordinary, so extraordinary. We're all so ordinary, so extra, extra, extra ordinary people.
And now it's time for the gap, the God awareness place. 3 minutes of silent meditation. Today I thought I'd let you just enjoy my virtual beach right here behind me. So I'll keep the time. Welcome back. I invite you to develop your own meditation practice, learn new and different ways to meditate. with a virtual beach or a real beach or a mountain or a flower or a candle, or just within your own mind. Namaste.
This song always makes me feel so good. I can see clearly now. Rain is gone. I can see all obstacles that are in my way. Gone are the dark clouds had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. Pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. Oh. It's gone. I can see all obstacles that are in my way. Oh, gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
Thank you, Darius Lux. Going to be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Wow, that was powerful. What you can't see is there's a bunch of windows on the other side of me, and as I said that, the sun came out. I love it. Yes. What I was thinking, though, is that what we learn through our philosophy of the science of mind is that we get to see that bright, sunshiny day by the choices that we make. And that's what I want to talk about today, how it is that we make the day. Make my day. That's today's talk title. Make my day. And, you know, if you've been around a while, you remember that actor that made that line famous. That's not the kind of making my day I want to talk about. This is a different kind of making the day. Not a violent making the day, a peaceful making of the day. And the question I have is, do you believe that you can make your day? Do you know that we have a partner in making the day that makes the day? That this is the day the Lord has made, I shall rejoice in it gladly. So listen to this. Listen to me as I say this. You make your day. Check in with yourself. How much do you believe that? You make your day. How much do you believe this? God makes your day. Is there a disconnect between those two? Hopefully before the end of this time together, we will reconnect that, because both of those statements are true. You make your day, God makes your day. Why are they true? Because we are inseparable, the two. The divine resides within us. We are the creative expression of God here on the planet. That's what Dr. Holmes tells us. There's one life. That life is God. That life is my life, your life now. So the way we express that life is the making of our day. We make our day and we make our luck each and every day. We labor under correct knowledge that there is a power within us that knows and expresses by the word that we speak. But we suffer from sensory misperception. Sensory misperception. All these things that are out here that are coming into our consciousness on a regular basis that we pick up and we feel the book. We reach over and we grab the sweet potato chips. They're so good. But all these, and we make those decisions. And some people take that same sweet potato chip and go, ugh. Our senses are constantly bringing information into us in a physical way, and sometimes they deceive us. But there is a power and presence within us that does not deceive us when we can listen to the still small voice within and allow those to work together, our conscious awareness of that, to make our day. The truth is that the God is enthroned in the very center of our being, that we are inseparable from this thing called life, that there's no way to break away from life, that life is at the center of everything that you are. And I break life down into love is for everyone. Love is for everyone. Life is for everyone. And contained within life is love. Love is for everyone. Enthroned at the very center of our being. That's how we can make my day. This is the choice we get to make every single day. Dr. Holmes tells us that the whole desire of life is to give you more life. Life, it loves you because in creating you, it has given some part of itself to you. Did you hear that? Life loves you because in creating you, it has given a part of itself to you. God is the ultimate in self-love and self-expression. I remember running through the back hallway of Founders underneath the stage, and I was cleaning it out because that was part of what I did, kind of organize things, and I pulled back these whiteboards and chalkboards that had been stored back there. And as I lifted them back, behind them were tons of books. Oh my goodness, I was in heaven. I love books. We love books. In this house, there are books everywhere. Our books have books. So we're sitting around and I'm looking at all these books. And one of the books on the shelf was The Art of Selfishness by David Seabury. The Art of Selfishness. He talks about how powerful it is to express ourselves, to love ourselves. And that's how we can make our day in loving ourselves, and particularly in loving our nation and loving our world, how we can make our day. And we're at a time that, as I said at the beginning of the service, we've got a 50-50 USA right now. And there are a lot of people that are filled with, I can't talk to that other person. I can't understand that other person. I can't forgive that other person. I can't see any solutions to the situations that break us apart and keep us divided. But those can'ts are making our day filled with cannot. See, we're storytellers. We tell the story of the annoying driver who's too close to us on behind. I thought the drivers were like too close to me all the time. I got this new car. It seems like drivers are always behind me. Well, I did something kind of interesting. I read the car manual. Turns out that the mirror on my car is designed to let me see the cars behind me a little bit closer than they actually are. Here I am, I'm thinking people are tailgating me all the time. I'm annoyed. I have created a story, but as I got more information, I was able to see that story was incorrect. As we get more information about this divine presence within us, and as we become more aligned with that divine presence, we have a bigger power to make our day free of the misperceptions of the senses, free of the sensory misperceptions that I talked about, free from the ideas that I can't, and we can move into I can, because we're storytellers. We tell stories about opposing voters, we tell stories about the battling commentators on TV, but we make our day, and we can see can versus can't by truth. It's our decision to do that. See, God's truth was laid down to Gary. Remember Dr. Gary Simmons? He came to the center. He was good friends with Dr. Jim. He did a lot of work with us there. Well, one of the things he was sitting with a Hindu astrologer. And this Hindu astrologer laid some truth down on Gary one day. The Hindu astrologer says this to him. He says, "No one is against you. No one is against you, not even your own life." Not even your own life. No one is against you. We are the viewer and we are the interpreter. And when we see that we're thinking life is against us, that thing that we think is against us, that's the growing edge. That's the event horizon into our next best expression of life itself, you see. Our can't is our growing edge. We are the ones that make the day. And when we see I can't, that's the opportunity to say I can. As my brother and I came up with that idea a long time ago, success comes in cans. So I told you the story, right? So we created this can, the success can, and we had all these affirmations on the back and these recipes like you see on a soup can with all these recipes and stuff. We designed this beautiful can, and we were going to market this can. And we decided, let's just Google it. We Googled it. There were so many success cans out there in the world. That did not make our day. But we make the day, my friends. We make the day by stepping over that growth edge, by stepping beyond that I can't, by moving to the place where I can understand, I can talk to, I can forgive, I can see solutions, stop telling stories that aren't true or aren't based on fact, and start living in that space of willingness and openness and make my day. It's such an emotional thing, too. How many times have you had somebody come up to you and say, "You made my day," because of something you did? Doesn't that feel good? When somebody says to you, "You made my day." It feels great. Well, you know what? You can do that for yourself. The spiritual remedy is to move into a material space that makes your day by interpreting our circumstances from a place where we receive the possibilities that reside in the infinite. See? But that really requires truly understanding what infinite means. Infinite means everything. It's all of it. There's no bounds, right? The center that is everywhere, and the circumference that is nowhere, that does not exist. That's infinite right there. We are centered in it. I talked about it with Dr. Sue a couple weeks ago, right? Up, down, left, right, as far as you can see into infinity puts you at the center of it and everybody at the center of it. So we have this centered God experience, but we must develop a personal experience with God. And as we develop a personal experience with God, then we have a direct pathway to making my day better. I was really touched by our wonderful speakers last week, and their story of having that personal commitment to God, that personal connection to God. I think it was Melissa that talked about God being Ta for her, the all, and confined it to be Ta. So I went into meditation this week. I wanted to go back and I just wanted to deepen my own experience of what it is to have a conscious contact with God. And I went into the silence and I meditated and I said, I want to have a name for my God experience. And then Spirit said, "You've had it. It's Mary. Remember?" I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, she's everywhere. Right here, not that far away. This is my little Mary statue. Can you see that? Let me hold that up there. You see that? That's my little Mary statue. It's like I just hold it in my hand and kind of meditate with it sometimes. And then right over here, here's a Mary that a friend of mine sent me. It's got so much glare on it. Can you see? There's glare free, right? I'm not Catholic. Doesn't matter. What matters is having that personal connection to the divine so that you can feel the presence, so that it feels when you're talking to God, it feels just like it feels when a loved one walks up to you and says, "You made my day." When you have your prayer moment with the divine, you want to be able to pray to the Spirit that lives within you. I mean, this is the paradox of words. This is the challenge with words. Trying to explain the spiritual experience with words is why they tell you to go quiet and go into the silence. It's hard to do, but it can happen when you can have that emotional connection to your own understanding of God. This is why we study. This is why we have classes, although we haven't had any classes in a bit. We're going to have a lot more classes in 2021 and hopefully more in-person classes. We'll get to that later. But the reason that we emphasize study and the science of mind, the reason we call them lessons and take classes is because there's something happening for us. In fact, here's a great quote from a guy named David Spangler. He really explains it. He says, "We are not training you to be able to produce things. We are training you to recognize the eternal process of production that is all about you, and it is all about you and all about you, around you and about you, so that you can do it because you are it." You see, I gotta go back to that one more time. That's just loaded with stuff. So we're training, right? And it's not so we can get things, although we will receive things because we're living in a material world, right? But the training is to recognize that this constant unfoldment, this constant production, this constant creation, it never stops. It's an eternal process that's always producing all around us, and it's producing all around us because it's about us. And why is it so much about us? Why do we study it? Because we have to understand that we are it. When we understand that we are it, then we have a spiritual answer that says, make my day. And when you say make my day, it's like you're making a commitment and a claim and a declaration upon Spirit to make your day, to create your day consciously into your highest good, by making my day, our day, the best day. We have that connection, and we open up to a willingness to accept our ability to produce, to have faith in that ability to produce, to live in the reality of a divine presence that's constantly around us, to take a positive stance in life. I was listening to that song, we should accentuate the positive. It's an old song, but it's a great song. It'll never go away. And the reason we want to do that is because we must understand that love is for everyone. Life is something absolutely marvelous. As Dr. Holmes says, life is not vindictive. It's not withholding anything from you. And check this out. I love Dr. Holmes. He says, it's not even waiting until you are good enough to receive. The universe doesn't care whether you're good enough to receive. Its business is to make stuff happen. And it's going to keep happening, whether you're good enough to receive it or not. And the good enough is not about a judgment of good or bad or evil or all that stuff. It's talking about here, are you good enough in your own heart to be willing to receive it? Not just agree with it, but be willing. And sometimes that takes stepping out, like I said a minute ago, beyond that I can't place. I recently watched a video, semi-documentary. It was about Quatre Vents. Have you heard about it? It's a garden in Quebec by a guy named Francis Cabot. And he would travel around the world. And he would see these fantastic gardens. And he was fortunate enough to inherit a lot of land in Quebec, and Quebec, as he would probably say. And decided to start a garden. And slowly, through traveling around the world and walking the Himalayan trails and harvesting plants off the sides of the Himalayas and bringing them back, sometimes you can't do stuff like that. Anyway, by bringing these plants back, he developed this incredible garden. And one day, on one of his trips, he was going across a rope bridge. And it was a frightening thing to do because it looked really frail. But he muscled up. He personed up, and he went beyond he can't grow edge, and he walked across this rope bridge, and it was so thrilling that he came back to his garden, and he created this rope bridge across his garden. You see, what he did was he traveled the road less traveled. He made a decision to go somewhere where he had never gone before. For him, it was a rope bridge. But sometimes the road less traveled is not a narrow path that's all dirt road and never been on before. Sometimes the road less traveled is a freeway. Sometimes the road less traveled has a lot of companions along it. We're being called right now to travel a road less traveled, to bring together a nation that is, by numbers, pretty divided, but in truth, still the United States of America. So we're called to travel a road less traveled with, 150 million other voters and 350 million other people. I just made our country bigger. I don't know if they'll figure out when they figure the census, but you get my point, right? We have a spiritual answer that allows us to make the day a day that we can all be proud of. And it's easier to travel when we get into the habit. In this one I just laid out for you, the one where you're traveling with 300 million other people, it's a lot easier to make that travel when you like people, when you like them. And when you like people, they like you, and when you like them, they like you because you are like them and they are like you. See, there you go with the words again. They mean so much. About is about you. About is all around you. Like you is to like you, and like you is to be like you. We belong. See, them is us and us is them. It's time to cross some bridges, my friends. We are rich in the power and the ability to create. So let's get about creating and making the day. Here's what Dr. Holmes says about it. Is it Dr. Holmes or William James? No, it's William James. William James. Great. He says, we and God have business with each other, and in opening ourselves to his influence, our deepest destiny is fulfilled. I think I butchered that one. Let me try again. I got all excited about those walking the path together. It's thrilling. I really think it's thrilling where we are right now. It's exciting. It's amazing. We and God have business with each other, and in opening ourselves to his influence, or to her influence, or to its influence, whatever way your conscious connection to the divine is defined, by opening yourselves to that influence, our deepest destiny is fulfilled. What is our deepest destiny that we're being called forth to do? And what is the power that brings us to do it? I've been reading this thing called Life. I love this particular copy. Talk about loving books. This is from 1943. Old books have a smell about them that feels smart to me. And I love my Kindle. It's nice, but you can't do this with a Kindle. Do you hear that noise? Kindle doesn't do that. Here he is, Dr. Holmes, this thing called Life, a book that shows you how to get the most out of this thing called life. He says, God is life, not some life, but all life. God is action, not some action, but all action. God is power, not some power, but all power. God is presence, not some presence, but all presence. God is pure spirit, filling all space. This pure spirit animates your every act. There is a real you which lives in a real God, and the two are one. To know this is to understand the secret of life. To know this is to understand the secret that love is for everyone. And when you can say that and know that here as well as here, you can make your day, you can make your life, you can make it good. And so it is. Let's do our affirmation now, shall we? This is the day the Lord has made. I gladly rejoice in it. This is the day the Lord has made. I gladly rejoice in it. There are some gospel tunes that have that line in them that I absolutely love, and I was going to play that, but sometimes, hi, I'm a lot closer now. There, that's better. Sometimes Facebook will flag us if we use too much copyrighted material in the middle of the service. So later, I'll put a link. Yeah, I'll put a link to some gospel tunes. You guys like gospel music? I love gospel music. It's really wonderful. Okay, so this is our time for healing prayer. This is the time when we know the truth of our being, when we do that conscious connection to the divine, where we allow that infinite experience to be our experience right here and right now. This is when we make our day. I've got my Mary with me. Here we go. Feeling the infinite divine presence in this moment, I'm recognizing that this one life that is God, this one life that allows everyone to feel love, this powerful emotion that's at the heart of everybody's being, that one healing balm that can be applied universally, and have the same healing effect on each and every person from their own individualized point of need is being called forth in this moment, and I'm unifying with that love experience for each and every person within the sound of my voice that may tune in later, that may never even tune in, but simply needs and knows and wants and desires and has questions but hasn't found answers. Right now, in this moment, I declare Spirit delivering answers. Answers to sense of lack and limitation, answers to poverty, answers to want, answers to need, answers to bringing more gratitude into life, answers to bringing more joy into life, answers into holding on to the harmony of life. For everyone is not in the same space. One person standing in need is another person standing in wealth and opulence. It's all relative. It's all relational. That's why the powerful statement is, I am. The I am leads to what we are. I am love. I am brother. I am friend. I am you, and you are me. And in this moment, we recognize that, and we allow that to be the impulsion of our movement toward unity and harmony and good for all. Knowing that as we practice the principles of conscious connection to the divine, we create the world that works for everyone by making the day great that we can gladly rejoice in now, in this moment. So grateful for the power of prayer. So grateful for this moment to share with each of you these truths that are distilled by that founder of this movement, Dr. Ernest Holmes, and all the wisdom teachings that he studied through the years. In full confidence that the spiritual mind treatment is the treatment that works, I release this treatment into the law that hears and obeys and moves forth into bringing that good into our lives here and now. And so it is. Thank you for that time. Now let me scroll down here and find out where we are. Ah, yes. Oh yeah, that's where we are. See, I've got a whole menu. You've seen it. I showed it to you before. I'll share it with you again. But what we've got here is our good friend Darius Lux coming back for another tune. Here is Darius.
People come and I see people go along this winding road. We're all the same. I don't know, but maybe I've been told that what we put out comes back in the end. Let down. I look around and I can't help but know that life gets grander outside of this town. Now I rise for good. Now I I know
abundance flows through me. It lives inside my breath. As I inhale, the flow of abundance resides in every breath.
Thank you for that quote from Ellis Grace O'Brien. It is now time for our affirmation of abundance and prosperity that we say, that was derived from the writings of Catherine Ponder as distilled through the class that was taught on abundance by Reverend Johanna and her crew, that came together with this statement that then the board and all of us decided we would make our affirmation statement each week. Are you ready? Here it is. Divine love is doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for CSL Simi Valley now. Divine love is victorious. Feel free to make your donations during the song or just listen. Do it after service. You can call Dee. She's there available for you. Here we go with the Soul Purpose Band together again in the Collins Hacienda.
And so I bless every gift given today, no matter what the means, via credit card or online web donation or a mailed-in check or a call, because I know there is power in practicing the law of circulation. Whether a penny or $1 million, there is no great or small to the one that maketh all. And so it is. Namaste.
And so it is. So thank you, John, for your prayers, for your creativity. Really, really appreciate that. Sweet to have Darius Lux here today. Reverend Johanna's with us today, as you already know, because you've been seeing the comments. He's been putting the quotes in, which is why she was Volunteer of the Month last month. It's so neat to see the quotes and be able to have them for you so you can experience that. And I understand there's a lot of active chatting going on. I don't get to watch that during the service. I check it out afterwards, and it's really sweet to see everybody communicating with one another and giving love and props to each other. So, Reverend Johanna, it's time for your recap. You ready?
Hi, everyone. As we usually start our recap with gratitude, let's do that again today. Okay, so just take a deep breath, close your eyes, get comfortable. We have had so much spiritual food this morning. So just let it sink in. Feel the warmth of it. Take another deep breath and thank yourself for showing up. If you showed up on this Sunday morning, or if you're watching later on YouTube or on Facebook, just thank yourself for showing up. And then we thank all, thank the community first. That is so important, because without a community, there would not be a CSL Simi Valley. So we thank the community for being here. And we thank the volunteers who help us put these services together. So we thank the Board of Trustees and the adjunct board members. We thank the office staff. Sherry Deeds and the Soul Purpose Bank. Sherry, thank you so much for your willingness to be a volunteer. We thank Darius Lux and his band, and Judy and Jillian and Jason. We thank Reverend Stephen. We thank Floyd Lula, who we'll be hearing shortly. And I'm just checking quickly. John Newbill, yes. We thank John Newbill for the great meditation. Thank you for inviting us to go to the beach with you. And take another deep breath and bring it back to yourself. And keep your eyes closed for a moment. Listen to the recap of the service. So Reverend Stephen said, we have a partner making our day. Make My Day was the title of the talk, right? But we have a partner making our day. We make our days, and God makes our day, but they're not separate. We're connected. The divine and I, the divine and you, make our day together. Have the conscious awareness of the divine that is at the center of our being. It's there in all its fullness, and know that life loves you. And know the power of loving yourself. Once you love yourself, you love all of creation. Know that we are storytellers. And we can get free of our misperceptions, because we can tell some stories, right, that are not necessarily true. So we can get free of our misperceptions by knowing the truth. And then we see what we can do. And we let go of what we cannot do. And we see what we think we can't do as a growing edge. We are making our day when we step into our willingness and openness. We need to develop our personal experience with God, connection to our own sense of God in our lives. We are the eternal process of production. Create your day consciously. Be willing to be good enough to receive. We are called to travel a road less traveled. But we travel together. And it's easier when we to travel together when we like each other. Remember what Dr. Ernest Holmes said. God is all life. God is all action. God is all power. God is all presence. God is you. Thank you, everybody. After the service, we will have Après Verge, and I will post the link right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend Johanna. Sweet. Thank you for just summing it all up and really reminding us it's really about liking each other and liking ourselves, and knowing that as we do that, God loves us regardless, that we're not having to wait, right? We don't have to wait to be good enough. I love that idea. It's time for our closing affirmation. Actually, it's our benediction, and this really nails it all down. Listen to these words. Say these words out loud as you read along with it, and let them, in fact, I'm going to put them on the screen for a minute first, so you can just see this, thinking about where is your home? Where is your home? And where is God? They both reside in the heart, right? And anchoring. What does anchoring mean? It means you're held in place. You're held in the place of truth, all right? And the separate, what is it? Never separate. Hey, because we're just the one. And when we find that we live that way, then we have a peaceful continence to our life. And that makes it easy to let the fear go. That makes it easy to be the living love. Here we are. Let's go together. I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love.
Hey, Simi Valley, we're grateful that you're here. This is from Floyd Lula.
We love you. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. In the name of love, with a heart of grace, overflow in us and decorate this place. As it is below, so it is above. May we always stand in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love.
In the name of love, may we always be seeking out the best till we all are free. Living in a world we've been dreaming of, where we stand as one in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love. 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 When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love. 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 Oh yeah. In the name of love. 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 Peace and blessing.
We love you.